Hello, hello, and welcome to our Happy at Home session. It is April the 20th, and today we are going to be playing with some embossing. So I'm really excited to be here with you, and hopefully we can do something that feels a little creative or fun, or maybe try something that you haven't thought to try before. This series is all about experimentation and playing. So something that we were working on earlier this week, and I was hoping to be able to demo for you today, was the this daffodil page that I was working on. So let's take a look. It's not done. So confession time. Let me know if you're here, and let me know, if how things are going for your day today. Today is office day. I totally didn't think of that when I said I'd have this layout done, so I did not have time to myself this morning. Okay, but let me show you where we were at with this daffodil layout. So on Monday, we were creating the little daffodil flowers. That turned out super good. And then on Tuesday, we made the great background inspired by the photo that's going to go on here. So I didn't get to assemble this and add the title, add my journaling yet. So this is like a work in progress. Confession that happens here. Okay, so let's just move this aside. This was like the little practice sheet that we did to test some techniques. But yesterday, let me go back here for a second. Yesterday, we had a Scrap School session within the Scrap Happy membership. If you would like information about Scrap Happy membership, it's at scraphappy.org. Hello, Danielle. Hello, April. Welcome. Yeah, we were doing Scrap School yesterday. Sarah Scraps was on, and she was showing us all kinds of creative ideas for what to do with frames. And like, you guys, she kind of rocked. It was amazing. She showed so many different ways to use those little chipboard frames or other frames or frames that you make. And it was just really, really cool to see some of those things. So I'm hoping that tomorrow we can try one of her ideas. So frames up for tomorrow. And I forgot to put on my focus. So let's do that right now so that we don't have another interruption. Focus. There we go. And yeah, so we will be looking at frames tomorrow. I want to try one of her fun ideas. And then today, so in the second half of her Scrap School, she was going to talk about tags. And she started talking about tags. And then she got totally sidetracked. She's like, even after it gets fixed. Okay, so I have here, let me show you. This is what we got. So I'm still here in the corner. Hello. But this is what we got. So I got this great big piece of 12 by 12 paper. Now, it's not big, it's 12 by 12, but it's going to be big when we're embossing. I think that's the thing. I do have a little tray that I use for embossing. I've got an embossing chalk bag, which I think is an important tool to have. I do have my embossing tool, which I can plug right here on my desk. And, oh, that closed. We'll get that plugged in so that that's ready to go. And then we will do this. Now, I have a lot of embossing powders. A lot of embossing powders. So let's just have a look at some of them, and we can talk about a couple things that I like or dislike about certain embossing powders. Shall we? Okay. Some of my favorites. And I've got a little packet of some that I haven't used yet. So I'm kind of like wondering if maybe we should play with these. Maybe. Okay, so here we go. Embossing powders. There's a lot of different companies that make embossing powders. You can get some that are really chunky with large grains of powder, and you can get some that have mix-ins, like little shiny, glimmery bits of glitter kind of stuff in them. You can see this is like actually multicolor. There's yellow and reddish bits to kind of make an orangey color. You can get some that are super fine. Like, I don't know if you can see just how fine the little pieces are in this black. Ultra fine embossing powders, super fine embossing powders, super chunky. So really the embossing powder needs to fit with what you're doing. If you're somebody that wants to stamp words and have a really crisp embossed image of a stamped word, then please look for fine embossing powders. This is one called Canadian Maple, and I'm not kidding, it actually smells like maple syrup. When you emboss it, it smells like maple syrup. It's just amazing. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Did it work better now? Like, has it fixed? Because I have turned my Speedify on, and hopefully that resolves all the buffering issues. I'm hoping. Please cross my fingers. So let me know. If it's not, maybe I should restart. Like, I could do a restart. We're just at the beginning right now. So please let me know. Okay, so different kinds of embossing powders, even scented embossing powders, which are pretty cool. But they're good for different purposes. If you want to do stuff with really fine lines, it's better. Okay, thank you. Oh my goodness, I was a little worried. So if you want stuff with really fine lines and you use a really chunky powder, those little fine lines are not going to hold the large chunks tight enough so that you can like heat them up and melt them. And then how will you get fine lines if you have great big chunks of stuff to melt? Like, it just doesn't work like that. So fine line stuff. You can get embossing powders in white, in black, in so many different colors. It's very fun. Lots of different companies. I will say that I have used embossing powders that kind of got old. And what do I mean by that is that sometimes with the little plastic pieces, they're extra dry and they don't melt very well when they're really old. Conversely, if your stuff is like you have a really damp climate, I've been told that it doesn't necessarily work so great when you have a damp climate either. So is there a magic climate? I don't know. I haven't had too many dry up issues. Okay, this is so new to me that I haven't even opened it yet. So let's get it open and let's check out these ones here. So this is a set that I got. It is embossing powder called the Fairy Wings Kit, and it is from Emerald Creek Crafts in collaboration. It was a collaboration with, oh shoot, what is her name? Rita Bearcat. Rita Bearcat. So we've got some different little powders to go with this. So I believe that this is meant to go where you use the powder and then you apply some of this stuff. I'm not exactly sure. Shall we experiment? Today is all about experimenting. But I look at the colors, you guys. Like, do you not think that those are good colors to experiment with and that we should figure it out? Oh, this is gold too. Yeah, I think we'll experiment with that. So if it doesn't work the way I want it to, I've got other colors that we can switch to. How about that? Okay, so first off, I've got my sheet of paper. I chose for this because I want to do a very thick, like I want to put like a lot of product on here. I chose a thicker piece of paper. This is actually a thick cardstock. It's very bright white. It's from the Creative Scrapbooker magazine. They call it Super Stock. And yeah, it's really nice. Really nice. I would say that it's whiter than the Vicky Bouton paper. So for the white quality of it, I like it just a little bit more. Now this little pad here has a little bit of chalk dust or something in it. And we're just going to rub that all over this so that we're not getting any powders and stuff sticking where we didn't want them to stick. Yeah, sounds like Rita Barracat. Perfect. Thank you guys for letting me know that it's working better now. One of the things that you really need too, I guess, the other big thing you need when you're working with embossing powders that you need something that sticks them to your paper so that you can heat them. I'm going to be using Versamark, and I thought that I would just apply it with the ink pad. We're going to see how that looks. I might pull out like a more solid stamp if I'm not liking the way the edges go, but we're going to try this first and see what kind of effects we can get. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. Worst case scenario, this just doesn't turn out the way I want. I have like a big disaster. Like maybe there's a portion of this that I'll be able to cut into something really cool and we'll be able to rescue a little piece of it. So all will not be lost, even if it doesn't go well. So looking on the bright side of things, silver lining. You were quick pulling up Rita Barracat there, April. That was pretty good. So I'm going to go in, and because if I apply this to the whole thing, that would be a lot. I think I'll do like a big section at the bottom here first, and then maybe we'll do some like little cascading framing pieces as well. We'll see how that looks. Let's just focus on the little bottom strip first and play with the different powders. So this says it's the Fairy Wings base, and then I think these kind of get mixed in on top. I'm sure that I'm going to need some kind of little scoopy thing for dealing with that, but I just have this random box full of goodies, right? It has all kinds of stuff in it, so I'm going to just take a little bit of this and apply some, and I'm going to work on this corner first, okay? Work on this corner. Now, as I'm applying it, some of this might not get covered in enough ink, and that's okay. There'll be like little gaps, and if I want to fill them in, you can actually go in and add some more after, so it's not really a big deal. Now, if I'm remembering right, maybe, we'll see, you go in and you add your embossing powder here, and as the stuff is wet a little bit, I think that's when you add in your fairy dust stuff. So let's just try that first and we'll see how it works. And if that didn't work out great, then we'll go from there. Now, if this is super loud, you'll have to let me know. But if it's super loud, then you'll just let me know, and I can see if I can change microphones. Maybe I can change microphones. Okay, so this is my best tip for putting your stuff back into any containers. I've had a little thing for it, but having a piece of paper that you can just pop it back in, that's always been my best, like I've had the best results. It's the quickest, it's easiest, and when in the end, if it's covered in a little bit of stuff, you put that one piece of paper in the garbage or whatever. Okay. So it's not too loud, right? Is it gonna be too loud on camera? Okay, so we're gonna melt this. Okay, and I can see it starting to change down here in the bottom corner. Now, it's very shiny, but I think if we want to have the real effect, we have to get some of this fairy dust powder into it. And I think you gotta do it while it's kind of hot. So I'm gonna actually just pause right here and see if I can put some of this in here. And if I'm doing this all wrong, like, well, I guess we'll find out how it goes. I guess we'll find out how it goes. But I think that's the goal. And you want to have it in, oh, Yeah, and now it's kind of like melting into that. I think that's right. Not too loud? Okay, perfect. Welcome, Teacup's mama said she is finally caught alive. Yay. Welcome. We are playing today with embossing stuff. Okay, I did a little pink. I'm gonna try a little bit of this purple in here now because I think like these colors all made to kind of like play, right? They're friends. Okay. And I'll let this powder really melt it in. And I'll hold it up in just a moment and show you how it's going. And I can see this area down here definitely needs a little more powder on it. Okay. Let's have a look and let's put a little bit of this blue down here. Okay. I'll put this a little bit more. Okay, so let's hold it up. Let's have a look. Let's go with some big chunks that blow off. That's gonna happen as things go. So here we go. You can see the little tiny little bits, and I think that they'll mix in even more. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply more of the ink over top and add more layers, right? Because I want this to be like even chunkier. Okay, so let's go with that. I'm gonna just put these lids, no, I'm gonna just keep them open, I think. Let's take my life into my hands and put open containers on my desktop. Nothing like living a little bit on the wild side here, but we'll do that. And I'm gonna need this in a sec. But for that one, I'm definitely gonna want to put it back in here. So let's apply some more ink. Just right on top of what I'm working on. It's kind of like just gonna add another layer and kind of fill in some of the gaps, right? It'll layer up on some of it and fill in some of the gaps. Okay. Well, let's get as much of this as I can convince to stick, to get on there and stay. No, put it back first. Put it back. And okay. Let's put that off to the side now and melt this down. So as I'm melting, you can actually see like iridescence, like the powder itself, the main powder has some iridescence in it. And then this other one just adds a little bit more of the color and stuff. And I think that the colors here, like you could still see like little, little fibers almost, not fibers, like you could see like individual little pieces of the color, but I'm seeing a little less of that now as this blends all together. Okay. So you want to have a look, and you can see now it's quite a bit thicker, quite shiny. You can still see like little pieces, and I wonder if that can actually blend even more with the purple, especially in that purple section. I might add a little bit more purple to it. I'll heat it first so that it will like actually kind of soften it. Because like I could be like subtle or not. Okay. There. Now you can actually see it's almost becoming like a liquid on my desktop, and it's like moving around a little bit underneath my wand as it blows around. I don't know if you can see that. No, because I don't have an up-close camera right now. So I'm going to add a little more of the pink over here. And in the corner. Maybe we'll just add a little hit of gold in there. Ooh, that was nice. Okay. So I think that's looking pretty good so far. And I'm going to take this and do the rest across down here. Now, I think I'm going to want them to be darker, but let's do the other side first and see. Because maybe I won't. Like maybe this will become the top and I do something darker across the bottom, right? There's options. As we play, there's options. April says, this looks like a lot of fun to play with. And if you mix the powders in the bowl before embossing, but then you can't add it back to your jars. Maybe, but then you're not, like, if you're mixing each color, I guess, I could try some. Like, why not? Like, if that's what we're here for, to test things. I had a bowl on my desk. Oh, it's this one. Here, let me put this stuff somewhere else. Put that stuff somewhere else. I'll mix them in the bowl and we can have a look and see what we think. I'll do a little bit here. I won't do a huge amount right now, so we'll see how that goes. And I'll try this teal color because we haven't used any of that yet. So. Okay. So it's like making custom color. Okay. Now, did I put enough of the teal in there? Let's just grab a little more. I don't need to be too stingy with it. Maybe I'll have more color. Okay. So now I'm gonna do this next area over here and add my ink there. So lots of fun. Junior science kit. I have looked for this embossing set and wanted to try it. Thank you for experimenting with it for you. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Yes, I was at the Creativation where she kind of unveiled this stuff and I was like, oh. So when I finally saw it in a store, I did see it in a store in Edmonton. I was like, ooh, I'm bringing that home. That looks fun. And the color palette with like, well, it's a very Rita Barracat color palette, of course. Let's see here. Okay, so there's quite a bit. Now, can I convince lots of it to stay on there? That would be good, right? If lots of it stays, then I don't have very much wastage. Okay, let's melt this down. Now, obviously, you don't have to do like multiple different shades of colors. I just happen to have this kit, which looked like it would be fun to play with finally. You know, how many people here have like some kind of scrapbooking supply or tool that you bought with good intentions because you saw somebody do something really cool with it and then you haven't yet? And then you haven't yet. Okay, so April, she's our enabler. So here's your enabler alert. She has it in her Etsy shop with free shipping. Love it. Love it. Enabler alert. Enabler alert. Okay, there's a little bit more of this. So I'm going to actually see if it's wet enough, I should be able to apply it right on top, right? If it's still wet enough. But do make sure you shake some of it off because it's just going to blow away, right? Like it just blows off, so. have a look. Is it better when you mix it? It might have been easier to mix it, but I don't know that the effect is really that much different. Oh, it's just blowing out on the white. Let's see, what can I do here to give it a little bit more? Okay. Stop blowing out. There we go. Now we can see, but you can still see like some of the little dots and stuff. So I don't know that it was that much different. And I think I was able to control a little bit more of the spread of it when I did it myself. So I don't know. I guess either way that you apply it, like to me, it's giving similar vibes. Now, one thing that I did apply was a little bit of the gold right here. And I know that it's hard to get it on camera, but I'll tell you, like that gold is looking really quite nice to my eyes. So this is good. Okay. I'm going to get the rest of this piece here done, and then we'll finish. We'll kind of see what we think of this section here first. Now, I will say that my Versamark could be inkier. It could be juicier. I guess that's something. I thought I had ordered another one, but if I have one, I don't know where it is. So, real life lives here, you guys. No, everything in my craft room has been used, she says. And Danielle's like, me. Lauren says punches. So we tend to find things that look great, and then it can be a while until we get around to making them part of our, productivity, I guess. It can happen. It happens to all of us. Okay, so in my mind, the tool that was the worst was that, oh shoot, that heating tool, the Becky Higgins heating tool. Somebody tell me what it was called. I can go grab it. I can remember. Kind of reminds me of an aurora borealis, says April. It's like super pretty. I'm actually like happy with kind of how it's looking, because I think I have an idea of what I can do with the page. Okay, so this is starting to melt. I'm going to take a little bit of my pink. Oh, I'm blowing it away. Turn off the fan and then add your stuff. Now you know better. Don't try to add it while it's running. The fuse tool. Thank you. Right? Everybody knew. It was like, oh, the fuse tool. I knew a few people. I'm not naming anybody here or anything, but I know a few people that told me before that they had not even taken theirs out of the packaging. Not naming anybody, but you might be here. But, it happens, right? Like, we get something cool, but you kind of you might not know how to use it. You might not, have time to, or you think that you might not have time to try something that's totally new and different. Okay. I'm gonna add a little bit of this gold in here too. Just a little wee bit in here. Okay, and I'm missing a little bit of color in this section, I feel. So I'm gonna just heat this section a little bit so I can add a little more. Danielle says guilty. It was you I was thinking of as I out you. You had confessed that to me, and apparently I'm, you know, I don't think it was meant as a secret. If it was, I totally spoiled it. You're like, I haven't even taken mine out of the box. I'm like, there are... But I think, like, there's, like, stuff that we can all relate. Honestly, I bought myself one of those picture frames, like digital picture frame. I'm looking at it over now. It's sitting over there, still unwrapped. It's still in the box. So I am no better. I keep thinking that Joe is just gonna do it for me one day, and he hasn't yet. But I think what I told him is that maybe I'll do an unboxing video for it. So now he's like, oh, I'm not gonna do that and ruin Mom's video. I should just give him permission to be like, go for it, Joe. Just make it happen. Take it out of the box. Okay. So you can see that I'm like going into places and adding like a little more color here and a little more color there. Oh, some of them were not wet enough. I just saw some like blow straight off of the thing. Okay, so warm it up more first, Alice. Ooh, yeah, that's warm and gooey. It's like sliding all over. You can kind of see it go mushy, melty all over the place. So that's cool. You know what this is making me think of? Oh, see? I just did it. You guys, did you see that? It's making me think of those color runs. Has anybody done one of those? I have not. But if I had, this would be brilliant, and I would be using this totally right now for doing a color run page. Like with the powder, like that, you know, where they throw the powder at you or something. Like I totally don't even like, I think they just throw it at you. Everybody ends up covered in all the powder, so it's really cool if you like wear white clothing, and then everything's covered in this beautiful colored chalky powder stuff. Yeah. Okay, some of this area over here definitely needs another layer of the base powder. So let's do that. Right? Go Joe! Anyone have G.I. Joe? Go Joe! Yes, G.I. Joe flashbacks. Danelle says, now I have to do a color run so I can use this technique on my layout. Oh gee, me and my great ideas. Me and my great ideas. What am I getting myself into? But no, I think it would be fantastic. Sometimes our lives need to fit our crafting. It doesn't need to always be the other way around, right? Exactly. I can like find a really cool technique like this and say, oh, now I have to do a color run so I can use that fun technique for the perfect color page, right? Oh, so fun. Okay, let's get as much of this on here as I can convince to stick. That's not a great place to like temporarily throw that, but it's working kind of. Oh, there we go. Switch spots. And let's emboss this stuff. Okay, I'm trying to convince it to stay and melt there without blowing off. Ooh. When it gets all puddly and melty and it's like moving around a little bit, that's when it really looks the prettiest, let me tell you. I wish I had a better angle that I could show you. think we could get this color more right to the edge if I keep this more wet. Lovely. A little bit more purple. Turn off. Turn off. Turn on. Okay. Not wet enough. I just blew all the powder away. I tell you guys, I'm gonna like have to buy a whole new kit just for all the stuff that I end up with having to wipe off my desk at the end of the day. Oh, here, you can probably see the waves of it moving around this time. That means I got plenty of the base on it to move it around, right? Okay. A tiny bit more of the gold in here. Pretty pretty. And I think a little bit of it right here. Okay, let's have a look. How even is it? I got these big blotchy parts right there of the purple. Other than that, I don't mind most of it. I'm going to work a little bit on this side to even it out. So I think that overall it's looking pretty good, but I do have a couple of blotchy parts that I think could look better. So let's give those another shot over. Because like sometimes it's like, it's not that you have to stop, it's that you have to just go a little more. And I feel that this is in that go a little bit further. So April says there was a Color Burst powder product. It reminds me of that, but more set. I think Color Burst would reactivate if it got wet. And April says, I remember people making the case for scrapbooking that it made their lives richer because of all the things that they did so they could scrapbook about it. I think that's a true thing. Like, I hear that discussion kind of come up when it's like December daily time, right? Like you hear about people, they're like, okay, did we go to the Christmas stuff because we like going to Christmas stuff, or did we go to the Christmas stuff because I want to scrapbook the Christmas photos? Like, and I think no matter what your answer is, like both are valid. Like, so I think both are valid. Okay. Put this on. And we're gonna dump this stuff on. You'll see that this is getting quite thick now, which is awesome. Because it just gets better as it gets thicker, honestly. Okay. Let's put this back. And we'll melt this down. Yeah. So here's a question. Do you do some things so that you can scrapbook them? Like, have you dressed in certain clothes so that it goes with certain scrapbook papers or certain themes? Like, I've definitely looked at things a little bit different after I did my niece's book. And I mentioned this recently. I said when my brother-in-law, he wore like these orange t-shirts all the time, and here's like his little baby daughter wearing pink, like pastel pink, and he was wearing these bold orange t-shirts, and I'm like, this is awful to scrapbook together. So like having that little bit of coordination, like there's not a problem with that, right? And honestly, like when people go get professional photos done, they dress for the part, so you know, I guess your whole life isn't a photo shoot. Like, could be, but like. just getting like more of this powder. You can see I'm getting braver. I'm putting more into it, and I think that's actually a good thing. I think it looks the best actually when I have it really hot like this, and it kind of sits like almost like a foil layer on top in a way. And it's very metallic-y then. It looks really nice. So maybe I'm finding the perfect technique as I explore and discover. Because now that I have this thicker and I'm getting like more of the product on here, it definitely has like a cool sheen on top rather than like mixing in the way it was before. I've got this blue section. I better heat it first. I still have a little bit that I'm melting in this section actually. From this stuff. So not all of the stuff that I applied with that base layer has been even melted down yet. And we're getting to it right now, to the last of it. And I'm gonna add the teal in here, and I think that'll be it. Like, I think we're close to the end now. Ooh, I think I need a little bit more at the bottom, which may end up being the top, actually. I'm looking at this thinking that this should be the top. And then I'm going to go along this final edge by the purple. Let's get it good and melty. Oh, some of that blew off. I think I was being under generous with my powder before. See, that gold almost like melted right on the top, like as I wasn't even heating it anymore, and it melted right on. Yeah, that stuff did the same. Hey, okay, let's have a look. Okay, I'm gonna hold it up. We're gonna look at it. There is like a little extra, but because I used that powder thing, it's coming right off. Okay, so we've got this across the top. The parts that look dark or like a little bit muddy or something dirty there, those are actually gold. And if I can get the right angle, you'll see how pretty they are. And if I can't, you might not. So, yeah, so it's like up close, you do see some of the little powder residue. I notice it most in the purple. And less in some of the other colors, but it's definitely like blending into the other stuff. It's not like the powder where it just like a regular embossing powder where it just melts clear. It actually stays like little bits of powder on the sample. So I'm looking at that, and rather than at the bottom of a page, I think that would look super cool at the top. And then I think it would be nice to have some extra embellishments maybe that I could turn into like little hearts or something. So I think that's what we'll do. I'm not going to embellish or emboss the whole page, but we're going to go and we're going to make some extra pieces that I can punch into some hearts for onto this page. So there we go. The original do it for the gram mentality or for the scrapbook. The only reason I've ever gone to a pumpkin patch is for the pictures, because I can't get a can't get a pumpkin at the supermarket without the toddler tears. Anyways, I mean, I can get a pumpkin at the like, I think you can't, because like, really, if you buy them at the supermarket, is it nearly as good? Now, my whole life, I've only ever bought them at the supermarket, and then a couple years ago, my friend and I went to a pumpkin patch, and I tell you, that was the best thing ever. Like, so kind of important. Yeah. So, yeah, so funny. Pumpkin patch pictures. That was a perfect example, actually, I think. Other sheet of paper. Now, because this is ultra thick paper, that's not the easiest for punching. We're gonna go get some other white paper. Okay. And so we're going to do kind of the same thing, but this one is going to be intended for punching out. And I'll probably do each color like a little bit in its own little separate zone here. But we'll get a fair bit of this on here. So that I can punch out some cool hearts, little embossing hearts. And that should be really neat. Okay, let's put the base on. Okay. This is going to work in sections because you can only do so much of the heating at one time, so I'm still working in sections. Okay. I love the idea of embossing it and using a punch on it. I never thought of that, says Danelle. Sometimes your ends can get a little chipped depending on how thick they are. So if you find that when you've chipped, like the edges are a little chipped, you can just take your heat gun back to that little piece that you've punched out. And if you heat it on top of it, then it's gonna like smooth out a little bit more. Now, you'll see that with this, with that first little coat that I've done, because my ink pad isn't as juicy as it should be, this will be a little bit stippled, and I'll show you what I mean by that here just in a second. Once I get all this powder melted. Okay, so it's a little stippled right now, and yeah, you can see that. So it kind of looks like a stippled ceiling. That's what I'm saying, like those textured ceilings. It kind of has that effect to it right now. But if you want it to be smoother than that, another layer of the embossing powder will do that for you. So adding more embossing powder will fill in those gaps so that it's less, and it'll be a little bit more like almost like an enamel smoother surface. April says it might shatter, but it might not if you did try cutting it with metal dies. Yeah, it could. And what am I using to emboss? So I have here my embossing tool. This is a heat tool. I've had this one for 10 million years. I don't even know who it's from anymore. Like, it doesn't have a label. I think I got it from Stampin' Up or something like a long time ago. One of the companies. I know I had a different one and I was like, oh no, I need an upgrade, because the one I had before was kind of shaped like a blow dryer and it worked so slow and it was just torture every time. I wanted one that I could turn it on and it was like heat. There's the heat. And so that's what I'm using. This ink is the Versamark ink because it's a sticky ink, right? It's clear, but it's sticky. And then on top of that, I'm using the base color, which is basically like iridescent clear, that came with this kit, which was the Fairy Wings kit from Rita Barakat. So, and it's Emerald Creek Crafts embossing powder, because that was done in collaboration with them. So super fun. All the good things. Okay. So yeah, by itself, without any of the mix-in stuff, it does have a little bit of iridescence in this embossing powder. So I can kind of see this slightly iridescent shine to it when I've melted it. So we'll make these, and I'll even cut them out so you can see what I mean. Like, we'll see if some of them break. She's using Fairy Wings collection embossing powders. Yes, thank you. April's got it perfectly in the chat, so that you can see. Now, as I've got it thicker, it's a lot smoother. Is it perfectly smooth everywhere? No, but I'm not like too worried about that either. So I'm gonna do a section that's all blue. This would be easier if I brought it over here, so I can have some blue hearts. And I'm gonna do a section that is green hearts, or tealy, aqua-y, pretty-y. And I'm gonna run the colors right up next to each other, and that way if I wanted to have like multicolored hearts, I totally can. Okay, I'm gonna just not wet enough. Oh no, it totally blew off, you guys. Totally blew off. I ruined it. Like, welcome to real life. Like, if I was filming this on a video, probably cut that out and be like, that never happened. But now you know. Okay, so we'll try again. This time I put like actual stuff on there, so. Got some of it really quite thick in there. It's like, oh. Okay, and I didn't brush extra off, so it's like extra everywhere. Okay, let's get this on. Get this done. These mix-ins and stuff is definitely a little more time-consuming than just embossing. Definitely more than embossing. Okay, let's warm up this other side here. So I gotta get some of the pink and purple. Come on. We gotta get some of this pink. And we're gonna heat up the area for the purple. too thick, Alice, too thick. If I bring it in slow, will it stay there long enough to melt rather than blow away? Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. This pink stuff is almost not pink. It had too much other stuff in the background. Perfect. Let it blend out. Okay, so we've got some stuff to punch some parts. If I need to do more, well, I know how to do that. You can see I've made a right mess of my countertop. I've got little bits of powdery stuff everywhere. It's gonna be time for a cleanup. Not that I wasn't overdue for one anyways. And let's pop all these lids on before I manage to have a real disaster. There we go. So pop those there. I'm gonna grab a piece of paper towel and I'll be able to wipe my countertop, but I'm actually gonna just fold this up and take that to clean it because it's a nightmare. And then I've got some water to get some of the extra powder off my desk. Okay, so while I'm cleaning up, we're waiting on that to dry. It should be pretty dry, but I wanted it to be cool as well. And now that we have it dry and cool, I wanted to take some little hearts and punch them up. So I have some little punches and I'm going to punch those. I'm gonna have to cut this out first though. So yeah, super fun. So we've got the cool background. So it's like a topper at the top, and then we'll have this to make some cute little pieces. Let's put this here. And bring some of these pieces. Can I get another one in here? Did I put too far apart? I think that's too far. Okay. And can I sneak one on backwards? No, it won't work. Oh, guys, I try to maximize my stuff sometimes. But, and some of these pink ones, they definitely have like a hint of like the purpley and blues in them. So if I want to make some more, I might want to make some more pink ones, but. And these ones here are going to have like the crossover colors. Oh, okay. I'm gonna hold this one up to you in just a second, but like I feel like a genius right now. Check out how pretty that is. Like that is gorgeous. So these crossover ones are incredible, just beautiful. Oops, let's not let that get away. It's too pretty for that. And then I'll have some that are here. I've got the green ones, the blue and green ones, and just the blue. So can you see like how lovely this will be with those little pieces? And then I add my photo. Nice, nice. And you know, like at times I'll tell you, like I was like, oh, did I just create a hot mess here? A little, but it turns out that sometimes a hot mess is dang beautiful. So I see April saying, I want to try this. I want to try it with watercolor. And yeah, so fun. Pretty, says Danelle. Okay, there's this one. I'm going to do that one as split with green and blue, but split the other way. So I'm going to pop it in like this. Yeah, these are pretty. And I only did one size of heart. Like, potentially having different sizes of heart would have been nice, but I think this is going to be gorgeous as it is. I might need a couple pink ones. I have like quite a few in the greeny blue, and I think this is going to be pretty all coming down from there. And ooh, what do you think? What do you think? Pretty special? They look amazing. I'm pretty happy right now. Let's come back here. Well, I just want to say thank you for joining me on this happy at home adventure. It did feel like an adventure. I will have to clean so much embossing powder off of my desk. I did every mistake so that you don't have to, so you know how to do things right. Blowing the powder straight off of my stuff. Oh my gosh, how many times did I do that? But in the end, the results are super gorgeous, and this is going to make a beautiful layout. I'm very excited to buy this now. And even had it failed, like I could have taken just this edge, right? Just that edge that we were mucking around with, trying to make it look nice, cut that into little punches, and those would have been gorgeous. So even if that look wasn't something that I was like excited to scrapbook with, I still could have turned that into something really fun. So the creativity and fun that came out of today was totally awesome. Tomorrow we will be back. Tomorrow we are going to talk about frames. I'm going to be doing a little bit of fun stuff with frames inspired by the scrap school class that Sarah taught within the Scrap Happy community yesterday. So be sure to be back and join me for tomorrow's session with frames. Yeah, it looks like a page about the magic of coffee to me. A coffee cup with the hearts floating out of the steam. I love it. I can actually make a little bit more of like the steam coming down into there. Like we could totally do that. It's looking pretty good. So yeah, lots of fun. Hopefully tomorrow I can unveil that daffodil page because I'm wanting to get it put together. I just didn't have a chance because today was office day. Got my office work done. Check, check. But if you want to come and see what we're doing at Scrap Happy, come and check it out at scraphappy.org. Don't forget that the discount for the load challenge, which starts May the 1st, the discount ends on the 24th of April. And we are doing the funnest load. It is called Frogs, Pigs, and Fuzzy Bears, and it's all inspired by the Muppets. So if you love the Muppets, Sesame Street, you have a favorite character, I can tell you that I have a few, then come and join us. Check out all of the info over at scraphappy.org. You can go scraphappy.org/load, and that will take you straight to the info page for that. So thank you so much for joining me today. It has been a super fun exercise in creativity with embossing powder, and I got to play with this stuff that I had kind of been hoarding onto for a while, so I'm super excited about that. I look forward to spending more time with you tomorrow as we explore some frames. So until then, everyone, happy scrapping and have a great day. Oh, Vicky says, I gotta read this. She's like, a unicorn page for my granddaughter, right? Unicorn stuff? Yes, absolutely. Unicorn, fairies, all the fun, and a love of coffee. I love it. Okay, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.